Hello students, hope you are safe and quite well at home. Now start our third chapter of history, that is ruling the countryside. We'll start with the introduction. Before starting this chapter, we must understand the three systems of settlement. First, permanent settlement. It talks about zamindars. Second is Mahalwari system, which focused on village headmen. And third is Royatwari system. They focused on Royat or cultivators. Our topic is the company becomes the Diwan. On 12th August 1765, the Mughal Emperor Shah Alam appointed the East India Company as the Diwan of Bengal. Diwan, which means how to do the administrative work and how to collect the revenue from various regions. At that time, Robert Clive was commanding. In this picture, Robert Clive accepting the Diwani of Bengal, Bihar and Odisha from the Mughal ruler Shah Alam in 1765. When the company's expenses growing, the company wanted to get so much revenue that they would not have to take any help from Britain later. Now next topic is revenue for the company. When company had become the Diwan of Bengal, it wanted to have large revenue income, but they were unwilling to set up the system. Company wanted to make effort to get maximum amount of revenue so that it could buy fine cotton and silk at least cost and later sell it back in higher cost in European countries. Within 5 years, the value of goods doubled. Gradually, the Company of Bengal, facing the crisis, artisans left the villages because they did not want to sell the goods at least cost, and peasants were unable to pay the dues. Then 1770, a terrible famine killed 10 million people in Bengal. This is oldest picture of market which later on collapsed due to arising of crisis. Our next topic is need to improve agriculture. When the company was in deep crisis, at that time, most of the company officials began to feel that investment in the land to be encouraged and agriculture had to be improved. How was this to be done? After 2 decades of the debates on this question, the company finally introduced permanent settlement in the year 1793. Now here question is, who introduced permanent settlement? The answer would be Charles Cornwallis. By the terms of settlement, the Rajas and Talukdars were made zamindars so that they would collect rent from peasants and pay revenue to the company, which was fixed permanently. Problems. The permanent settlement, however, created problems. Company officials discovered that zamindars were not investing in the improvement of land. The revenue that had permanently fixed was so high that his zamindar found it difficulty to pay, and anyone who failed to pay the revenue lost his zamindari. In 19th century, the prices in the market arose and the cultivation expanded slowly. Company was not getting any benefits. Our next topic is a new system is devised. Early 19th century, the company thought to bring new system, that was Mahalwari system. An Englishman, Holt Mackenzie, introduced Mahalwari system in the year 1822. He wanted to preserve the social institutions because many were doing agriculture in village. Cultivators went to village for the measurement and the record of the land so that revenue would be different. If the land is large, then more revenue, and if the land is small, less revenue. The village was called Mahal. People used to collect revenue together, not individually, and gave it to Britishers. In Mahalwari system, the revenue was not fixed permanently. It was changing periodically. In this system, village headmen used to collect revenue from the people and deposit in Mahal and later on gave it to Britishers. Next topic is Monero system. The Monero system was introduced in the name of Thomas Monero. When the Britishers came in southern part of India, the Rotwari system started. It was tried on small scale by Captain Alexander, but later on it was developed by Thomas Monero on a large scale. That is why it is called Monero system. This system was gradually extended all over the southern India. Under permanent system, Zamindar is the revenue collector, and Mahalwari system, village headman is the revenue collector. But in the Rotwari system, in this system, neither Zamindars were there nor village headmen. Therefore, they have decided cultivators to become revenue collector. Here, cultivators is known as Royad. In this system, lot of crises faced by people because company wanted to get maximum revenue to fulfill their desires. Peasants were unable to pay, cultivators left the place. This system could not get any success. Next is crops for Europe. Britishers thought that if they will go to countryside, they would get fair revenue by growing crops. The company was trying its best to expand the cultivation of opium, in Hindi we call afim, and indigo, that is nil ki kheti. The Britishers forced cultivators in various parts of India to produce other crops: jute in Bengal, tea in Assam, sugarcane in Uttar Pradesh, wheat in Punjab, cotton in Maharashtra, and rice in Madras. Next topic is, does color have a history? If you look at both the colors, first left hand side Kalakari printed by weavers of Andhra Pradesh in India. On the right hand side cotton print designed and produced by William Morris. One thing is common in two prints. Both use rich blue color. It is commonly called indigo. In 19th century, Britain was manufactured from indigo plants cultivated in India. For India was the biggest supplier of indigo in all over the world at that time. Next topic is, why the demand for Indian indigo? In 13th century, Indian indigo was being used by cloth manufacturer in Italy, France and Britain to dry clothes. Indigo plant was sent to foreign at low price because its demand was very high in foreign. In Europe market, its price was very high. European manufacturers were depending on another plant, that was wood plant. It wasn't have quality compared to indigo plant. People banned on indigo. Later on, people asked to remove the ban on indigo. Gradually, some of the country like Brazil, Jamaica, Venezuela started to cultivate indigo plant. Indigo plantation also came up in many parts of North America. Next topic is, Britain turns to India. In demand for indigo in Europe increased so much that the company in India looked for ways to expand the area under indigo cultivation. 18th century, indigo cultivation in Bengal expanded rapidly, and Bengal indigo came to dominate the world market. In 1788, only about 30% of the indigo imported into Britain was from India. Over the year, many companies officials left their job and look their indigo business. Next topic is, how was indigo cultivated? There were two main systems of indigo cultivation. First is niche and second is royalty. Within the system of niche cultivation, the planter produced indigo in lands that he directly controlled. He either bought the land or rented it from other zamindars and produced indigo by directly employing hired laborers. Next is the problem with niche cultivation. Indigo can be cultivated on fertile land itself. but there was not fertile land because of population. Cultivators wanted land which was around their factory so that they could easily cultivate indigo. It was not easy to mobilize laborers because labor was needed for indigo plantation, but peasants were usually busy with their rice cultivation. Niche cultivation on the large scale also required many plows and bullocks. 1 biga of indigo cultivation required 2 plows. This meant that the planters with 1000 bigas would need 2000 plows. Investing on purchase and maintenance of plows was a big problem. Next is indigo on the land of ryots. Cultivators were tempted by the loans, soon realized how harsh the system was. Another problem was for cultivation of indigo required fertile land, but already the cultivators used their land for rice cultivation. In this picture we can observe that how the people are working in indigo factory. In this picture indigo is manufactured and it is ready for sale. Next topic is the Blue Rebellion and after. In March 1859, thousands of ryots in Bengal refused to grow indigo. As the rebellion spread, ryots refused to pay rent to the planters and attacked indigo factory with sword, sprayers, bows and arrows. Women also fought with pots, pans, kitchen implements. Ryots swore that they would no longer cultivate indigo in advance, nor afraid of lathiars. Lathiars means those who keep sticks. Indigo peasants decided that they would not be silent. In the year 1859, ryots felt that zamindars and village headmen also against planters, and it was true because in many villages, headmen who had been forced to sign indigo contracts, zamindars were not happy with increasing the power of planters. After 1857, the British government was worried about rebellion. Royat felt that government is in our favor. Barasat in Bengal, the magistrate Ashley Eden issued a notice stating that ryots would not be forced to accept the indigo contracts. It was declared that indigo production was not profitable for ryots. The commission asked the ryots to fulfill their existing contracts and if they want can refuse the cultivation of indigo in future. After the revolt, indigo cultivation collapsed in Bengal, but the planters now shifted their work to Bihar. When Mahatma Gandhi returned from South Africa, peasants from Bihar forced him to visit Champaran to see the condition of indigo cultivators there. He visited in the year 1917 and began Champaran movements against indigo planters. This is one of the beautiful picture of West Indies where people are making indigo. And we can also see the slave workers putting the indigo plant into the settler wart on the left. And also we can see two workers are carrying the indigo plug hung up in the bags to be dried. A man standing on the top and supervising the slave workers. With this, we wind up this chapter, Ruling the Countryside. Thank you.